I've been working at a you know, my job for a last little bit, doing customer service. Someone came in, right? They're buying a $60 game. Cool, fine. That is my job to facilitate you buying games, right? And I was like, that'll be like $60 or whatever, right? $64.94. That's how much a new video game costs with tax, right? They came in with their dad, little kid, right? It's probably like a teenager, not really a little kid, probably like 13, 14 or so. He puts his hand in his pocket, just grabs a fistful of change and puts it down on the counter, and then just drops it there. Just clatters around, and he's just like, 7. Okay. I'm gonna fucking explain this. He had $8.54 in change, mostly nickels and pennies, okay? I have no idea why he said 7. I have no idea why he said 7. 7 was not involved at all. And I must have given him a glare, because his dad kind of gave me a glare back, like, what, are you not going to serve my son? Like, are you not gonna, like, help my son? Because I thought he was going to step in for me. Like, he was going to, like, be like, oh, son, let me take that change and I'll pay for this. You know? That's what my dad would have done. But no, I have no idea what he meant. Because it's not even he was paying $7. It's just, and it wasn't even like the difference was $7. He just handed me money. Just a wad of cash. I mean, it's almost as bad as Maple Syrup Guy, which I don't know if I told you guys, but he was a guy that was like, he just handed me like a bunch of bills, right? But they're all covered, like, lightly, not a lot, but a little bit, with like maple syrup probably. Just like they were sticky and it smelled like maple syrup. And I hated it. I hated it. He was Canadian, don't judge. I'm sorry. I'm racist towards Canadians, I guess. 7 is the new meme here. And he just looked me straight in the fucking eye. Like this was a normal person thing to do. And that he was proud that he had 7, which apparently was $8.53. I don't know what he wanted. He couldn't even pay for it totally with that, you know? There was a guy who came in the other day, he handed me like, he bought a $60 game in only $2 bills. I've never seen that many $2 bills. How did it turn out? I counted all of his nickels and pennies. I'll tell you that fucking much. Because that's what you do when you work a job. He had some other cash, if I remember correctly, but it was just like... And here's the fucking kicker. This was Saturday, which is Tilda's birthday, right? My fiance, who is a fairly recent fiance. Like, we got engaged on Christmas Day, right? And I was like, okay, it is like 2 minutes until I leave, right? One last customer, then I'll be out of here. 7! Fucking 7. He just sevens that shit, and it's not 7. That's what you guys are having a hard time understanding. It wasn't 7. 7 was not involved. How did it end? He bought the game. He bought the game. He had the $8.53 plus some random dollar bills, and then his dad finished it off. I think he had like a gift card or something, right? There's some guy who came into the store the other day. I was explaining things to him about, I think, Kingdom Come Deliverance, because we have to give a shit. And he was just like, buh. Instead of saying yeah, he was just like, buh. He smelled heavily of weed. He probably thought he was saying words. It's like, so yeah, it's this game. It's based on actual like historical record and stuff like that. They brought in a bunch of historians, but they based on actual castles. I mean, your character is original, but you know, it looks pretty good, you know. But so anyway, can I get you anything else? But yeah. But he'd been standing in line for a bit, like partly well, he was technically first in line. But he just sort of like gave up his spot to anyone who walked past him, and then ended up standing in line for like an hour. I don't know why. I don't think he was all there that day. And then like if I said something really interesting, he'd be like, buh, buh. He looked like a used toothbrush taste. Does that make sense? Was that a sentence? Like he had a beard, sort of, and he was like well enough dressed, sort of. He's just sort of an uncomfortable individual to be around. I opened the other day. And I hate opening. But this dude came in, right? He walks into the store is essentially square shaped. He walked directly to the center of the like square of the store, and he just sort of just yelled, "Sonic!" Right? And my coffee is not kicked in at this point, right? I'm like, yeah? And he looks at me as if he's surprised that there's someone else in a store. Like, he wasn't expecting anyone to work there, right? And then I get a good look at his eyes, and the dude is like, he is clearly lit. Like, his eyes are like blood, like completely bloodshot, right? I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah? I'm like, well, we got Sonic Forces, if that's what you want. And he just sort of like backs out of the store. Like he wasn't ready for that. Like he wasn't ready for Sonic to be there. So that was good. I really don't know. Like, dedication to the cause, waking up, like literally wake and bake. And then you're like, man, I need some Sonic. Like first thing in the morning. I swear to God, everyone who comes into my store is a fucking gremlin. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you. And that's fine. Like, if you're high and you come into a store that sells video games, that, I get it. Like, you're like, man, we should have some video games. But then you realize you don't have any, so you have to go and get some, but you're already high. So you're like, trying to play it easy. It's just retail, yeah. There's also these weird pig statues, like little tiny, I don't want to say statue because they're made out of rubber, but they appear everywhere. We don't sell them. We don't sell this thing. It's about the size of a nickel, right? And they're these little tiny pig rubber, like, things. And they're fucking everywhere. We don't even sell them. I don't know where they're coming from. They don't have a SKU in the system, so I don't know what they are or what we need them for. But they're here. They're everywhere. Every fucking day I run into at least one or two, and I'm just trying to, like, put them in a thing. I found, like, 10 at this point. There are people who try and do prank calls, but, like, I don't think they realize that people are just generally stupid, and, like, so sometimes don't understand the stuff that everyone understands about video games. So, like, people will call and they'll be like, do you have Madden 18 for the 360? And I'm like, yeah, actually we do. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, we actually do, because they still make Madden for the 360 because they realize the people who want sports games yeah, we haven't. Oh, this was a prank call though. Okay, there was a guy who called the other day and he's like, do you have Bofa? And I'm like, yeah, actually, we got Bofa and we got Updog. What's Updog? Not much. And then the guy like clearly had it on speakerphone because his friends were like laughing at him, and he hung up. My favorite is when kids call me and try and like mess with me like that, and it's just like, bro, you're not even on my level. I don't know how to tell you this, but you're not ready for this.